to last time ang the definition of a business combination. So again, when we say business combi, okay, anong sabi ulit sa ating business combination? It occurs when one company acquires another. Okay, nakalagay dyan, one company acquires another or when two or more companies merge into one. So, depende. It's either, sabi nga natin last meeting, isang acquirer, binili yung isa pang company. Tapos, or they decided to merge as one company. So, anong element or yung the essential elements to be considered in order for us to say that the transaction is a business combination. So you will notice, sabi dito, another definition of business combination is that it is an event which an acquirer obtains, nakalagay dyan, control. So there is a control over one or more businesses. So if the transaction taken place involves an acquisition ng control ng two or more business, so this is a business combination. So here you will encounter yung mga itong mga terminologies nito, si parent and acquirer, then subsidiary or acquiree sa latter part sa computation if makakaharating tayo doon kasi we're running doon 2 meetings na lang before the final examination. So, syempre, the one who purchase or obtain control from the other company is the parent or the acquirer. Then the one being controlled is the subsidiary or acquiree. Okay. So ito nga po yung dalawang based on the definition, what are the two essential elements for us to consider that a certain transaction is a business combination? Ano yung dalawang element? Base dyan, ito lang ang tingnan nyo. This is the definition. So what are the two essential elements? Miss Malihan? Ano yung two essential elements?
Two essential elements po ay
Pardon, hindi ko maintindihan. Ang hina ng boses.
control and business po.
Control and businesses. Okay, follow-up question, Miss. Tama naman. We have the control and the businesses. So there must be control. Miss Malihan, when we say a certain business has a control with the other, what does it mean?
Ano po, yun po company, yun po company ay mas
Pardon, hindi ko maintindihan. Ano po?
meron pong control yung isang company dun po sa other company na pinag-merge.
Kindly settle first, sir. Ano po? Class ano ba? Audible ba si Miss Malihan sa inyo? Okay po ba ang audio ni Miss Malihan sa inyo? Kindly settle first, Miss Malihan, your audio.
Ma'am, audible na po. Audible na po.
Medyo hindi pa din okay.
Ma'am, ako po.
Yan, medyo okay na. So, paano mo masasabi na there is a control with the other business? The parent company has a control with other business.
Kapag po 51% and above po ang voting right ng other ng other company.
Aside from that, from 51%, ano pa? Meron pa tayong kailangan i-consider aside from having a 51% and above voting interest.
Yung power to invest is relevant activities po.
Okay, he has the power. Ano? The company has
the power to direct po the investment is relevant.
Okay, has the power to direct. Siyempre, alin ang ida-direct niya? Yung relevant activity. So, i-recall nyo lang yung ating concept sa joint arrangement. Yung paano po masasabi na may control or significance influence yung certain company with the other businesses. Okay, thank you, Ms. Malihan. Pakibalikan na lang yun ha. Paki-analyze na lang ulit ng ating concept before. So same lang yun yung concept ng control din sa ating joint arrangement as yung control natin dito. So if the majority interest is 51% and above, and if the acquiring company has power to direct to the relevant businesses na relevant activities of a certain business. So again, na-encounter nyo na din to. I'm sure na-encounter nyo na yan. We have different business combination. So, business combination may also be described at ito na yung certain paano ba nangyayari ang business combination? Hindi tayo yung types ng business. So, paano yan nangyayari? We have different types ng business combination taken place. So, I think na-encounter nyo na to sa other management subjects. So, we have ito, the horizontal combination, then the vertical combination, and the conglomerates. So, alam ko may idea na kayo dyan kasi na-discuss na din yan sa mga ibang management subject. So, Miss Collado, what is your idea when we say a combination is horizontal? Give me
Naririnig po ba
examples
ako?
na. Yes.
So, parang sa echo ko po yan narinig po yung vertical. Horizontal po ba, ma'am?
Sige. Kindly open your camera, class. Pag sumasagot, doon na lang.
Ma'am, medyo unstable lang po ang internet ko.
Sige.
Horizontal po, ma'am.
Yes.
So, sa business combination po na horizontal combination po ay dito po ay yung business po ay para pong nag
Horizontal, di ba pag ano? Horizontal. What does it mean? Na-encounter nyo na yan sa ibang management subjects. I'm sure.
para pong when companies po ay co-combine po in the same industry po.
Okay. Same.
Kunwari po ma'am, kunwari po ma'am, kunwari po yung a burger chain po na nag-acquire po ng another burger chain po to increase po ng number po ng stores or para po maparami po yung kanilang mga branch. Parang ganun po.
Okay. So when we say horizontal, tama namin sinabi niya, same industry or similar businesses. How about vertical? Sige, banggitin mo na. Kasi pag dinidiscuss naman yan, sama-sama na eh. How about vertical, Miss Collado?
Vertical po ma'am. Dito naman po, yung business naman po dito ay when acquire, yung company naman po ay nag-acquire po ng another company na hindi po same po ng para pong uri po ng business.
Hindi same. Sigurado ka ba? Hindi ba yun dito? Paano hindi sila same? Paano hindi sila same? When we say vertical, di ba pa ganyan siya, vertical. Pwede drawing nyo. So, paano may elaborate ang vertical combination? In an example.
Para same po sila pero different stage po ng supply chain po.
Paano?
Ang example po ma'am.
Yes.
Kunwari po ma'am ay yung
Hindi rin siya na-pre. Pag ginamit mo naman
Different stage. Tama naman yun.
kunwari po yung manufacturer po nag-acquire po ng mga raw materials po, parang de-develop pa po nila yon.
Tapos, nasaan ang business combi doon?
Para pong, di ka po may own star brands po sila. Para pong parang mamimili po muna sila ng raw materials po, ganun po ma'am. Supplier po, ganun.
Tapos, nasan nga ang business combination doon?
Yung sa parang ano po ma'am. Kunwari po ma'am sa Jollibee po. Di ka po sa Jollibee ma'am. Parang pong nako-control po nila yung manufacturer po ng primary products po. Bigla po iba-iba po yung ina-acquire po nila.
O, paano nga? Paano lumabas
From
na
suppliers po.
Hindi ko mag-gets yung point. Nasaan doon ang business combination? Tama, Jollibee has supplier.
Doon po sila nakikipag-merge. Doon
Yun.
po sila ma'am nakikipag-merge.
Okay, tama. If the certain company merge
Yung isa-
to kung yung supplier niya. Oh, how about the last one? Conglomerate.
So sa conglomerate naman po ay dito po yung iba-iba pong different ano na po dito businesses po. Dito po yung mga malalaking company na po like kunwari po ay yung Ayala Mall po ata yun para po may iba-iba na silang kunwari Ayala Mall Hotel, resto, mga ganun po.
Okay, thank you, Miss Culiado. So, elaborate lang natin again. When we say horizontal, same industry, same or similar businesses talaga nag-ooperate. So, tama yung sinabi niya, food chain sa food chain, food chain to one. Conglomerate, so ito yung kaiba talaga. The operation of the business is different from yung existing niya. Tulad nga ng yes, yung The Ayala Malls, madami na siyang iba't iba. Kaya mapapansin nyo, may mga businesses na nakalagay, halimbawa, Jollibee, ano nga yun? Yung mga group of companies, halimbawa, City Mart Group of Companies, o kaya naman Eternal Garden Group of Companies. So, doon na yun, conglomerate, so madami na. From halimbawa, ang kanya business initially sa real estate, then pinasok na niya ang banking industry, then pinasok pa niya ang food chain industry. So, yun na yung conglomerate. Kaya nagkakaroon ng group of companies. Yung vertical combination naman, kaya pag ganyan nga siya, patayo. So, it's either yung other businesses na before is katransact mo. So, in order for you to be effective ang inyong operation sa business, you obtain that or you merge with that business. Instead na ikaw ay bibili pa ng mga egg or poultry products dun sa isang supplier, so ang ginawa mo na lang is nakapag-merge ka na dun sa mismong poultry farm or yung owner nun. Okay? So because of that, different business combination, nagkakaroon niya ng syempre mga advantages and disadvantages. So more on ito ay na-encounter na natin. So we have the competition is eliminated, so nawawala or nalelesen. Then we have also synergy, then we also have increased business opportunities. So pag dami, so mas madami may offer na job. Reduction of operating costs, then yan, economies of scales, cost saving, and favorable tax implications. So majority ito is, I think na-discuss na natin last time. So mga nasagot na ng mga kaklase nyo yan. Dito naman tayo sa disadvantages. Okay, kasi dito sa favorable tax implication, there are cases na if you undergo a business combination, you will not be subject to tax for that specific period. So dito na may economies of scale. O ano sabi dito sa economics? When we say this terminology, anong ibig sabihin yan? So kasalukuyan kayo nag-economics na yan, so possible na encounter nyo yan. Miss Villaran, what does it mean? What does it mean? So, how does business combination helps? Ang sabi dyan is, combination utilizes economies of scales. So, paano? Miss Villaran? So, wala. Lat? Miss Lat?
Po, ma'am. Sa economies of scale po, dito po ay na-achieve po sa business combi ang economies of scale po dahil po ang economies of scales po ay nakakatulong sa pag-increase po ng production and nalo-lower din po yung cost.
Okay. So, paano? Paano nakakatulong yun? Ang business combi. Tama naman, ganun naman ang concept ng economies of scale. Increase in productivity. So, bakit?
Dahil po na-spread out po over a large number of goods po. Yung
Okay.
cost po.
Tama naman siya. Possible, di ba? There are certain fixed, may cases, the tendency will be, if the business merge or combine, there will be greater, output to be produced. Makakapag-produce kayo ng mas malaking output or mas madami. Then, di ba ang fixed cost, yung pinag-aralan nyo din yan sa economic, fixed cost is still whatever amount of whatever the total number of output you produce is still the fixed cost is yun pa din. So, much better if you can produce a much larger amount ng output kasi na-distribute equally yung cost. So, the cost per unit will be decrease. Mas bababa kasi madami yung inyong napoproduce na output. Okay, so much for that. Dito na tayo sa disadvantage. So, kung ito yung mga advantages of a business combination, so what are the disadvantages of a business combination? Ano naman ang madudulot niyan? Diba, competition is eliminated. So, ano yung counterpart niyan? Miss Cortez. Miss Cortez? Anong magiging disadvantage naman ng ating business combination? Wala. Madami bang Mr. Dipasupi, what can you cite some disadvantages of a business combination?
Inaabalan ninyo yan, wala man lang kayong binibigay kahit safe. Kung ako sa inyo, guguluhin ko yan.
Mr. Dipasupil? Wala. Miss Amandi, can you cite some disadvantages of a business combination?
Ma'am,
Guys, meron kayo.
nagbe-bring po ng monopoly po.
Yes. So, paano? Paano nagbibring ng monopoly yan?
Meron kasi akong gano'n.
Sige, babalikan kita, Mr. Dipasupil. Paano nagbibring ng monopoly?
NPA, sayang.
Mr. Mandy, kindly explain.
Wala ko meron ganyan dalawa eh. Ako din yung totoo. Pero doon sa ibang plan. Dahil may conflict sa kabila.
Are you here pa, Miss Amandi? Just recall your economic concept. So may pwede din ako i-connect ang economics dito sa ating business combination.
Wala ka may debt sa wala siyang gayet rest. Wala siyang activity niya kulang-kulang. Laking wala pa buti.
Meron akong ganyan.
Bakit pag tinanong pag
Miss Volante, so paano nagre-result ito sa monopoly?
Ayun po, ma'am. Okay naman po yung audio ko.
Yes.
Okay po. So, babaliktarin ko lang po yung mga nandito po sa ating advantages. So, una po, ang sabi po kasi sa advantages is na-eliminate nga po or nababawasan po ang competition. So, ang disadvantage po niya ay nagkakaroon nga po tayo ng monopoly gaya po nung sinabi ni Miss Amandi. So, ano nga po ba yung parang pinaka-effect ng monopoly? Kasi po, di ba, kapag meron po tayong monopoly is parang nasa iisang tao lang po yung lahat ng supply, lahat po ng product. So, parang mas meron po siyang control over sa kung gusto niya pong taasan yung presyo, pwede. Kung halimbawa po gusto niyang wag munang ibenta kasi papataasin niya muna yung demand para mapataas niya po yung presyo. So parang ganun po yung mangyayari and magiging disadvantage po siya para po sa mga consumers. Next naman po, sinasabi po dito na meron po tayong synergy. So, ang kabaliktaran naman po nun, kasi po 'di ba pag may synergy po tayo, is parang nagmi-mix nga po yung both na company, si parent po tsaka si subsidiary. So, ang possible naman pong mangyari dito is mawawalan po tayo ng identity. Kumbaga parang malilito po kasi dahil nga po nag-merge na siya, say for example po, magkaiba po, gaya po ng mga conglomerate, ganon. So, possible po na magkalito yung sa Estee Lauder po. Sa Estee Lauder po kasi is parang beauty conglomerate siya. So parang dati po, ang focus po talaga nila is more on makeup lang. Pero nag-branch out po sila sa mga perfumes po, ganon. So ang nangyari po is parang pag naririnig po ng tao yung Estee Lauder, hindi na po nila alam kung ano po talaga yung Estee Lauder, kung siya po ba ay makeup or siya po ba ay perfume, ganon. Tapos next po ay increase business opportunities and earnings potential. So kapag ganito naman po, dahil nga po kapag nag-merge ay mas lalaki naman po talaga yung business opportunity. Kaso po, possible din po kasi na mangyari dito ay parang mawawala, pwede po magkagulo kasi kahit po nag-merge sila ay gaya nga po yung sa conglomerate, ganun, dahil iba-iba po sila ng business ay pwede pong mangyari na yung mga internal controls po nila, ganun, ay hindi po magkakaswak-swak, magkakaroon po ng mga problems and incompatibilities. Tapos next po ay yung sa reduction of operating cost. So, gaya po nung sinabi kanina, yung sa economies of scale din po, pagsasamahin ko na po sa reduction and sa economies of scale. Kasi po, di ba ma'am, ang sabi po natin sa economies of scale is parang palalakihin po natin yung production natin para yung cost po natin is parang sapat po. Pwede ko po ditong gawing example yung sa akin pong business. Kasi halimbawa po ay magpapamanage po tayo ng mga lip products, ganun. Kasi pag magpapamanage po tayo ay automatically po ay gagastos na po tayo kasi babayaran po natin si manufacturer sa pagmamanufacture po ng product. So parang para hindi po tayo lugi kasi gastos na rin naman po tayo is papalaki na po natin yung ipapaproduce natin para po kapag binenta natin is parang mas malaki po yung pagpupuntahan ng puhunan and mababawi po siya. So parang ganun po yung idea. Kaso, ang disadvantage po nun is magkakaroon po tayo ng overcapitalization kasi halimbawa po, ang plano ko lang naman pong i-capital ay halimbawa po ay 50,000 lang. Pero dahil nga po gusto ko po yung gano'n na parang i-utilize na yung pagpapaproduce, ang gagawin ko po is i-a-adjust ko po siya, halimbawa po i-maximum ko ng 100,000, gano'n. So magkakameron po ako ng overcapitalization. Hindi rin po maganda kasi minsan po ang effect po nun sa mga companies, especially po yung mga companies na naglalabas po ng mga shares, halimbawa po Jollibee, gano'n. Kumakalat po kasi yung kanilang mga market shares. Tapos, hindi na po siya masyadong attractive kasi ang magiging dating po nun sa mga investors is parang madali nga po mag-acquire ng shares sa company na yun. Tapos yung cost savings in business expansion naman po, tsaka favorable tax implication. Kapag po kasi nag-combine tayo ng business, maaari po na mas maging strict na po yung mga regulations na i-implement po doon. Kasi nga po, syempre, kapag mas malaki po yung scale ni business, kapag nag-merge po sila, it's mas kailangan na silang tutukan kasi mas possible na po na may mga anomalies.
Dalawa ka na.
Okay, so thank you, Ms. Volante. Well explained naman niya yung ating disadvantages. So for that, I will give you additional points.
Yun, nilabas na.
Okay. So malinaw naman yung sinabi niya, class ano. So if there will be advantages for business combination, yung counterpart niya kasi syempre lahat, sabi nga po sa kasabihan, lahat ng sobra will result to a negative impact. So possible, if the competition is eliminated or lessened, di ba pag nasobrahan yan, so nangyayari na may monopoly. So ganun lang. Then ito, tama yung sinabi ni Ms. Stricter regulation by the government kasi kapag mas nag-iito scrutiny, ibig sabihin ay you will be subject for more detailed ano kayo. Kumbaga pag inaudit kayo, mas detailed ang government sa inyo. Pagtutuunan kayo, especially kapag magre-result na kayo, mga kilala mga kapalit, tas nag-merge as one, mas ipo-focus kayo ng government kasi maaaring nga gumawa kayo ng mga fraud, may possibility kasi nag-combine na kayo, possible. Dahil nawala na yung competition, edi gagawin nyo na kung ano yung mga pwedeng, halimbawa sa mga cost reduction, baka mas malaki yung dineclare nyo na expenses, which is hindi naman dapat. Kaya mas tinututukan ng government. So much for that, self-explanatory naman siya. So let us proceed na dun sa how do we acquire a control. So sabi kanina, one of the element of a business combination is the control. So how does an acquirer or the parent company have control over the businesses? So we have, sabi dito, an investor controls an investee when he has the power to direct. Saan daw? Sabi dito, highlight natin, relevant activities. So, if you have the power to direct the relevant activities, you have control. So, ma-achieve nga natin yun if we have a voting rights of 51% and above. Then, paano ma-achieve yun? It's either by acquiring the assets, so yan ang sabi, acquiring the asset of the target company or acquiring a certain controlling interest. So, yan yung dalawa nating business combination. So, na-discuss na din natin to before. So, recall lang natin, we have first one is the asset acquisition. So we can have control with the certain businesses if we acquire the assets. So ano sabi dito? An acquirer purchases the assets and assumes liabilities in exchange for cash or non-cash consideration. In this case, from the term asset is assets and the asset is acquired and liabilities are assumed. So dito, ang kinukuha natin is the net assets. So ang ina-acquire talaga natin is the net assets. So dito na nga po yung we have the statutory merger or yung merger lang nakalala natin, then statutory consolidation. So anong mahalaga lang pag merger? There is a sole surviving legal entity. So it is a combination of two or more legal entities wherein one company continues as the sole surviving legal entity. So sino kadalasang sole surviving legal entity? And si acquirer. Usually yung mas greater yung ano niya, mas greater yung total ano niya, total assets niya compared with the other one. Then statutory consolidation, combining of two or more existing legal entities into one new legal entity. So ito yung ating kita, one new legal entity. So both acquisition is under the assets acquisition. Then we have stock as acquisition. So dito naman, we are purchasing a controlling interest of another's company. Sabi dito ay companies voting common stock. Common stock class ha, common stock. Kasi we have two types of stock. Ano nga yung dalawa nating stock na usually na-encounter sa accounting, Ms. Clotario? Kasi kailangan natin ma-identify yan. Common stock daw ang pinurchase mo. Ano yung isa? We have the ordinary shares. Ano yung isa? Miss Clotario.
Preferred share po.
Okay, preference share. Kasi class, ang sabi dito, stock acquisition or the business combination carried out using stock acquisition, ang binibili dito or ang pinupurchase na controlling interest is voting common stock. Oh, be careful with that ha. Common stock. Kasi if other stock yan that you acquired, so there will be no business combination. Especially, halimbawa, you purchase or you have a controlling interest for a certain company, but it is a preference share lang o preference stock. So wala kang, there is no combination, business combination taken place. So ano ka lang, parang nag-invest ka lang, yung may makukuha kang dividends for that preference share. So mag-iingat ha, may problem na ibigay sa finals, tapos nakalagay dun is you acquire a controlling interest, tapos preference lang naman pala yun, tapos nag-solve ka, which is hindi naman pala siya business combination. So it is just an investment on a certain company. So ano yung sabi? Under sa stock acquisition, both the parent and the subsidiary remain separate legal entities. So still, kahit sila nagkaroon ng business combination, they maintain their own financial statement and records. Meron silang maintaining records pa din. But for external financial reporting purposes, si investment yun kasi is yung si parent at saka si subsidiary. Usually, combine their individual financial statement into a single set of consolidated statement. Have we encountered this concept before? Na-encounter na ba natin tong concept na ito before? Class? Na-encounter na ba natin yung ganyang setup? Yes or no? Yung they record on their individual books. Then afterwards, for reporting purposes, they will have consolidated financial statement. Na-encounter na natin yung concept na yan? Na-encounter na ba natin, Ms. Sarmiento? Ms. Sarmiento?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, saan? Saan natin na-encounter yung ganyang concept? Saan natin na-encounter yung ganyang concept? Miss Sarmiento, bakit ang tagal kaya niyo kula sumagot? Kung kayo nakakasagot sa unang tanong, bakit hindi agad makasagot ng follow-up question? Para it takes time pa. Miss Sarmiento, saan topic na encounter natin yan? Yung nagkakaroon ng consolidated FS.
Sa ano, ma'am? Home office po.
Okay, sa home office and branch accounting. Pag nakasagot ng isa, parang hindi na pinapakinggan yung sunod na tanong. Okay, sa home office and branch accounting, i-recall natin, we prepared working papers. So in this case, madaming working papers din tayo ipe-present. If we can encounter hanggang dulo kung maaabot natin yung mga topics na yun, so ma-encounter natin yan. Mas madaming elimination entries yung ating i-reconsider for us to have a consolidated FS. So let us proceed na dun sa accounting for yourself of business combination. Ito naman talaga yung bottom line natin eh. But before we proceed with that, dapat alam natin yung concept ng business combination. So the two methods of business combination is we have purchase and pooling interest method. So what is the difference between the two? So when we say purchase or purchase method or sa iba, ang tawag dito is acquisition method. In this method, all the assets and liabilities of the acquired company are recorded at fair value. So for example, si ABC acquired DEF company, so the assets and liabilities of the DEF or the acquiree will be recorded at fair values. Then in exchange for that, the acquirer will give particular consideration. So ano yung consideration na yun? So it depends upon on the acquirer company, whether it is a cash, non-cash, or stocks. So kung ano yung issue niya. So yun yung i-account natin, yung transaction na nangyaring yun. So paano ba yun? So later on this topic, i-discuss natin. Then we also have pooling interest method. So what is the difference between the purchase or acquisition method? Sa pooling interest method, the acquired company, the asset and liabilities are recorded at book values. Book value siya, hindi siya fair market value. So, that is why it is not advisable to use the pooling interest method. So, hindi na siya ginagamit ngayon. Hindi na masyado ginagamit ang pooling interest method kasi nga parang, di ba, hindi ganun ka-reliable ang value niya. More on book value. Kung ano yung naka-record sa libro ni acquiree or the subsidiary na bibili ni acquirer, yun ang ating i-consider. What if yung accounts receivable niya, ang recording niya is 80,000 tapos there will be deemed uncollectible. So, mas maganda talaga, it will be recorded at fair values. So, on our discussion of the problems, we are going to use the purchase or acquisition method kasi hindi na ito masyadong inaalaw. So, hindi na ito inaalaw itong pooling interest method. Kaya hindi ito masyadong dinidiscuss sa books. So, let us proceed dun sa steps in application of acquisition method. The first step, na-discuss na din natin ito pero elaborate natin today. First one is identify the acquirer or the parent company. So, as simple as that, sino ba yan? Maybe the one who obtains control from the other. But there are cases na kailangan ma-identify natin who is the acquirer. Paano ba natin malalaman na siya yung acquirer? Siya pala yung nag-purchase. Okay, so may mga consideration tayo na dapat tingnan. So I have here an example. Pakibasa nga po, then identify who is the acquirer in this scenario. Meron tayo dito ang example transaction. Ms. Aguilar, kindly read.
On June 33, 2023, White Corporation
So
issued
that is
100
10:30 ha.
okay pa. Issued 100,000 shares of its 20 pesos par value common stock for the net assets of Block Company in a business combination accounted for by the acquisition method. The market value of White common stock on June 30 was 36 pesos per share. White paid fee of 100,000 pesos to the broker who arranged this acquisition cost of SEC registration and issuance of the equity securities amounted to 50,000 pesos. Contingent consideration determined to be paid to Black after acquisition amounts to 120,000 pesos.
Okay, anong question dito? In this transaction, who is the acquirer and identify the acquirer and the acquiree.
Ang acquirer po ay si White Corporation.
So ito ang sagot niya, si White Corporation. So sino ang acquiree?
Ang acquiree po ay si Black Company.
Okay. So alin dito sa transaction ang naging guide mo in order for you to identify that White Corporation is the acquirer?
Binase ko po siya sa par value common stock po. Sa White Corporation po is 20 pesos po yung kanya. Tapos yung sa Black Company po ay 36.
Sigurado ka? Sabi dito, the market value of White common stock on June 30 was 36. White Corporation shares of the net asset. So,
Ay, baliktad po pala.
Sino acquirer?
Ang acquirer po ay si Black Company. Ang magiging acquiree po ay si White Corporation.
Sigurado ka? Pakibasa ulit at baka mali. So, di ba, the acquirer company is the one who obtains control with the other business. So, in this case, sinong nagkaroon ng control over the other? Sino ang bumili? Di ba yun lang? Parang sino
At-
yung bumili?
Okay na po. Yung una ko pong sagot, yung White Corporation po ang acquirer.
Paano mo
Ang
nasabi?
kasi mas mataas po yung naging common stock niya, which is yung 36 pesos per share. Tapos ang magiging si Black Company po ang magiging acquiree po.
Bakit? Kasi ito namang, itong sinasabi dito 20 par value. Kanino ba itong value ng shares? Kanino itong 20 par value?
Kay Black Company po. Ay, kay White Corporation. White Corporation po.
White Corporation. Itong 36, kanino din to?
Kay White Corporation din po.
Pares pa lang kay White Corporation. 'Di ba? Parang sinasabi ko 100 share, 20 par value kay White. Yun yung par value. Tapos ang fair value niya 36. So, alin yung naging hint mo dito? Paano mo nalaman na si White Corporation yung acquirer? Sige, Miss Aguilar, alin po dyan?
Siguro po is siya kasi yung nag-issued po nung mga fees po.
Siya yung nag-issues na White paid fee of the, pwede naman nga. Aside from that, kasi may mga checklist tayong tinitingnan para we can identify if it is the acquirer. Kasi may problem naman sasabihin agad na si White Corporation acquires. Paano pagka ganyan hindi ina-identify?
At saka po, siya rin po yung nag-issued ng shares na par value 20 pesos po, which is the net assets po.
Which is the net asset. Tama na issued 100 shares.
Of its 20 par value common stock po.
Para saan daw?
Para po sa net asset ng Black Company.
Okay. Sige, thank you Miss Aguilar. Huwag malilito. Dito pa lang alam na natin On June 30, 2023, White Corporation issued 100 shares of its 20 par value common stock for the net assets. So, kanino bang net assets ang pinurchase? Di ba sabi kay Black, net asset of Black Company. Sino ang nag-issue? Sino ang nagbigay ng consideration? Si White Corporation. In order for White Corporation to purchase the net asset of the Black Company, pinambayad niya ay shares. So, hindi laging consideration ang ibinibigay. Hindi laging cash consideration, hindi laging non-cash asset. So, pwedeng shares of stock ang mismong ibigay. So, in this case, si White Corporation ang ating acquirer. Saka yun, tama din yung sinabi ni Ms. Aguilar. Pwede din natin ma-identify ito. Sabi si White paid fee of 100 to the broker who arranged this acquisition. So you will notice madaming mga additional cost pa. Question is, what amount of consideration will be recorded by White Corporation. So hindi pa natin masasagot ngayon. So on the latter part ng ating topic. So dito, aside from nagbayad siya, the 100,000 shares, ang kukunin natin dyan i-fair value or the fair value of shares as of acquisition date. So ito yung 36. So 100,000 times 36. So that is the amount paid by White Corporation to Black for the net asset. Then si White din may mga incurred cost pa siya. So the question is, ito yung question na ililib natin na hang. Are these costs 100,000 to the broker as well as SEC registration costs included into the value of the shares to get the total consideration? So yan yung iwan nating tanong. Yung bang mga cost na yan ay kasama or it will be expense outright? Kasi di ba we will get the net identifiable asset less yung consideration given. Mamaya natin yan. Next, we need to, after determining the acquirer, so alam na natin si acquirer, determine the acquisition date. The date used to establish the fair value. So in this case, alin ang acquisition date natin? Eh di itong June 30, 2023. So dyan talaga nag-start yung acquisition. Tapos sabi dito is, the date, why it is important to determine the acquisition date? Kasi acquisition date will determine the date, the fair value to be used. Kasi kung June 30, edi kung ano yung fair value ng June 30. Kasi possible sa July, the fair value will change. Kasi nga flexible. So depende kung ano yung especially yung sa shares. Then after determining the acquisition date, sa kaklas, we need to establish the fair value of the assets and liabilities of the acquiree. So, dito si White Corporation, kailangan, so on June 30, di kasi binanggit dito, yung June 30, 2023, White Corporation being the acquirer, i-assess niya yung asset, liabilities ni Black Company to determine the net asset. So, i-consider niya kung ano yung fair market value na given on that day, no June 30, 2023. Halimbawa, yung assets receivable sa book value niya ay 90,000. So, upon assessing, ang makukuha na lang pala niya doon ay 80,000. So, 80,000 nare-record niya fair value ng accounts receivable. So, mas malinaw yan kapag nasa problem na tayo. Then after that, you assess the identifiable assets and liabilities of the acquiring company. You are going to determine the consideration given. So it means to say, yung pinambayad ng acquirer, ano ba yung binigay niya in order for the company to acquire the net asset of the acquiree. So una daw, para ma-determine mo yung consideration or the price for purchasing another business, assets. So pwedeng assets transferred by the acquirer. It could be cash or non-cash assets. Could be liabilities incurred by the acquirer to form more owners of the acquirer. So pwede din yung yung parang nag-result siya ng additional sa liabilities niya nung in-acquire niya yon. So kasama din sa consideration. Then equity interest issued by the acquirer. So yung example nga natin kanina, ang in-issue ni White Corporation ay shares to obtain the net assets of the acquiring, which is the Black Company. Pero kailangan din natin tong pagtuunan. We have, madali lang, di ba? Kung binili mo yung certain businesses, ito binayad mo, in layman's term, acquire ko yung business na yon, ito yung binayad ko, edi yun yung aking price. Pero may mga consideration. We also have contingent consideration. Contingent, it is an arrangement na there will be additional consideration at the later date if specified events occur. So ito yung parang halimbawa may napag-usapan si acquirer and acquiree na kapag halimbawa yung net sales or net income ni acquiree ay nag-hit ng ganito, kapag na-hit yung ganong particular, halimbawa nag-merge na sila or nag-combine na, on that day na-hit yung ganong net sales, edi magkakaroon ng additional consideration si acquirer. So depende yan. Kaya nga po nakalagay agreement. If napag-usapan ni acquirer and acquiree. Next, we have acquisition-related cost. Di ba ito yung question natin kanina. Ang sabi, acquisition-related cost Okay, Mr. Manalo, anong tanong? Ma'am, question po, ano po yun sa determination po? Kaya po ba lahat ng asset liabilities ay present po or kahit isa lang po ang present palagi? Yes, lahat. Yes. If you are, no. Dun sa determination ng dito, consideration, hindi po lahat is present yan. It could be, halimbawa, asset lang yung binigay, pwedeng nagkaroon ng internal liabilities, or pwede ding equity. Depende yan sa transaction. May cases kasi na nagbayad ka na ng cash, nagbayad ka pa na ng cash at meron pang stock. So, hindi naman required na dapat yung tatlong yan. Depende. Sabi nga dyan is, consideration may be in any of the following or pwedeng lahat yan. Depende kung ano binigay ni acquirer sa acquirer niya. Okay, going back kanina dito class, do we have contingent, dito sa ating example kanina, di ba we have contingent consideration. So additional, so mamaya natin i-discuss yan if it will be an additional to the price given. So dito tayo sa acquisition related cost. Sabi, these are the costs that the acquirer incurred to effect a business combination. So, in order for the business combination to be take place, the acquirer incurs some cost. Anong sabi? It is not included in the price and should be expensed immediately. Ang sabi, if there will be additional costs incurred by the acquirer to effect the business combination, it should be expense. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya isasama sa total price paid. Going back, balik tayo dito sa ating problem. In this case, can you give the acquisition related cost? Alin kaya yun dito, Miss? Parang ito na ito mga natatawag ko. De Los Reyes?
Po, wait lang po.
Alin kaya?
Ida-determine,
Yes. Determine the acquisition related cost na that should be expense. Ibig sabihin, hindi pala siya kasama sa price, total price.
yun pong fee po ng, nasa na yan?
Alin dyan? Ito yung ating problem. Ha?
Yun pong 50,000 na binayad po sa SEC registration po.
Okay, yun ang sagot mo. Sige, babalikan kita ha. Babalikan kita. I-discuss ko muna rin dalawa at baka nalilito. So, meron tayong contingent, itong acquisition related cost. Ito is to take effect the business combi. When we also have stock issuance cost. So, stock issuance cost incurs when the acquirer issued shares of stock for the net assets acquired. So, in that case, there will be stock issuance cost if the consideration given is an asset, shares. Kung ang pinambayad is shares. So, nagkakaroon ng stock issuance cost. It includes yung mga SEC registration fee, tapos yung documentary stamp tax from the BIR and newspaper publication fees. Ang sabi dito, it is treated as deduction from the additional paid in capital. Okay. So going back, Miss De Los Reyes, balikan natin yung si White. In this case, identify the stock issuance cost as well as the acquisition related cost saka yung consideration given. Sige. Alin dyan yung...
Bale,
Sige po.
alin po yung ano po?
Yung acquisition related cost at saka stock issuance cost. Sige, pakibasa muna ng problem.
Bale yung acquisition related cost po is yung sa tingin ko po is yung 100,000 po, tapos yung stock issuance cost po is yung 50,000 po na ibinayad po sa SEC registration po.
Okay, so tama naman. Anong gagawin daw? Sabi kapag acquisition related cost, itong 100,000, is it part of the consideration given? Part ba siya ng price?
Expense immediately po.
Yes, so this will be, the 100,000 will be expensed immediately. How about this one, the 50,000? Anong, sabi mo, stock issuance cost yan. So ano naman treatment natin dyan?
Bale, hindi na po siya isasama dahil deduction po siya.
Deduction daw saan?
Bale deduction po siya doon sa APIC po, yung additional paid in capital po.
Okay. Thank you, Miss De Lucero. So, tama naman siya, class. So, ganyan mag-classify, ha? So, in this case, in this problem, the price consideration lang, di ba sabi kanina is, determine the consideration given, asset transferred by the acquirer. So, wala namang asset na tinransfer. Ang tinransfer dito is equity interest issued by the acquirer. So, in this case, ang pinambayad niya ay 100 shares. So, anong gagamitin nating value? Ay yung fair market value, which is the 36. Ito kasi ay book value. So, 100 times 36, so it will be 360,000 ang consideration given. Then, the rest of the expenses will be, it's either expense immediately or a deduction to the additional paid in capital. Malinaw, class? Malinaw? So, basta acquisition-related cost, expense immediately. So, madami pang mga acquisition-related cost. Ano po, mga example ng acquisition-related cost? Ay di, yung mga, ang acquisition-related cost pa, ay di yung mga pwede mga accounting, legal, and other professional fees. Tapos yung mga brokers or sales fees, as well as other administrative costs. So, yun po. I-identify nyo na lang yung sa problem kung saan siya mas applicable. Then, yung contingent consideration, di mamaya natin yan i-analyze kung ano ba ang treatment sa kanya. Basta, if you classify the cost as acquisition, it will be expense. If you classify as stock issuance cost, syempre nagkakaroon lang tayo ng stock issuance cost if the acquirer issues shares in order for the company to purchase the net asset of the acquiree. Okay, again, balikan natin yung step. And step 1 is yung determine the acquirer, then identify the acquirer, determine the acquisition date, then determine the consideration. So, alam na natin consideration, yung binili. Kasi, in this case, we are going to recognize and measure the identifiable assets acquired. Class, take note on this, ha. Sabi, identifiable assets acquired, the liabilities assumed, and any non-controlling interest in the acquiree. So in this case, transaction natin si White Corporation, nag-issue siya ng shares in order for the company to acquire the net assets. Din sa net asset, di ba when we say net asset, assets less liabilities. So dun sa asset portion, it must be at fair market value, identifiable. Ang i-consider mo lang na assets ay identifiable. So, it means to say, paano kung may goodwill? Yung pinurchase mo na business ay may existing goodwill. Are we going to include that goodwill dun sa total assets? Miss Rosita? Sabi ay, to get the net asset, you must consider or recognize the identifiable assets. O, halimbawa, yun nga si White Corporation, nag-purchase kay Black Corporation, binigay yung assets niya, liabilities niya. Dun sa assets may nakalagay na goodwill, existing goodwill. May goodwill yung yung acquiree. Are we going to include the goodwill, Miss Rosita?
Yes po, i-recognize din po yung goodwill.
Bakit? So, isasama natin, halimbawa ay ang asset ay 1.5. Tapos ang goodwill ay 200,000. Kasama siya dun sa assets na yun. Kasi part siya ng asset ng acquiree.
No pala po. Hindi pala po siya kasama or hindi po siya i-recognize.
Bakit? Bakit hindi na siya kasama? Sabi mo kanina kasama tapos ngayon hindi na. Bakit?
Kasi po po siya, unidentifiable assets po.
Yes. Laging tatandaan ha. Baka kayo lituhin. Lagyan doon ng goodwill. Identifiable asset. Kasi goodwill, di ba? Naalala nyo nung diniscuss natin siya sa partnership? 'di ba meron dong portion na hindi na masyadong pinagtuunan ng pansin yung may goodwill kasi nga po under, 'di ba naalala niyo class na recall niyo nung diniscuss natin siya, sabi ko ay hindi na natin 'to masyadong i-discuss dito kasi applicable lang itong goodwill kapag nasa business combination na tayo. Yung may portion doon na i-discuss natin yan. So dito ba natin ma-encounter. So, it is hard to determine the value talaga ng goodwill. Kasi nga unidentifiable siya eh. Saka intangible asset siya. So in this case, if the acquirer purchase other company, the acquiree, and the acquiree, on the book of the acquiree, there is an existing goodwill. So, it is not included on the identifiable asset. So, yung mga identifiable lang yun, tapos yung liabilities na inassume, so ileles mo lang. Then, any non-controlling interest, kung merong non-controlling interest din nakasama doon. Then afterwards, di ba kanina alam na natin ang price or consideration given. You are going to to compare it with the recognized net assets of the acquiree. Then dito na it will result to any goodwill or bargain purchase. So, ano ibig sabihin? Class, ang goodwill na tinutukoy dito, new goodwill ha, hindi existing goodwill ng acquiree. So in this case, sabi, if the price paid exceeds, so it means to say the consideration given by the acquirer to the acquiree is greater than the fair value assigned to the net asset. Halimbawa dito balik tayo dito, kay White Corporation, if the 360,000 is greater than, halimbawa ang net asset lang ni Black ay 300,000, so 360 versus 300,000, so there is a new goodwill na 60,000. Nag-recognize ng goodwill kasi mas mataas yung ibinayad ni White dun sa na-purchase niyang net asset ni Black. Yung counterpart naman niya, if the White Corporation, halimbawa ito ang sinunod, so 200,000 lang to shares, tapos ang value ay 300 nung net assets ni Black. So in that case, nagkakaroon ng bargain purchase. So from the term bargain, di ba? Pag sinabi nating bargain ay bagsak presyo. So bagsak presyo. Kailan kaya class nangyayari na may bargain purchase? Ito kasi usually common ito. Pag binili mo yung isang business or in-acquire mo siya, usually nagkakaroon ng goodwill, mas mataas yung binabayad dun sa net asset acquired. Kailan kaya nangyayari yung bargain purchase? Miss Abelia, kailan kaya nangyayari yung bargain purchase? Na talaga dyan, parang tubo there is a gain on the part of the acquirer.
Ano po yun? Ano po, ma'am, paulit po ulit ng question po.
So, kailan to nangyayari, itong bargain purchase?
Kapag po yung price paid is less than fair values na naka-assign po sa net assets.
So, ano example kaya niyan? Kailan kadalasan nangyayari yung ganyan scenario?
Wait lang po. So, nangyayari po yun, yung price paid po is less than fair values kapag po especially yung common example po nun is kapag po nasa crisis na po yung business or yung financial crisis po. So like binababa po nila yung price kaya po madami po yung nag-acquire po, nagkakaroon po ng bargaining purchases po.
Okay, so tama naman yung sinabi ni Miss Abelia. Kung kapag no choice ka na, kasi continuous loss ka na, wala ka nang magagawa, kundi na lang, instead na para mas ma-survive yung business mo, yun nga, papayag ka na magkaroon ng business combination. Or yung mga napilitang ibenta may cases talaga ganyan, yung napilitan kang ibenta yung business mo. Either may force na nagdulot para maibenta mo yung iyong business dun sa acquirer. So no choice ka kung magkano ibabayad niya, yun yung iyong i-consider. Ay, syempre, kung ibayad niya mas mababa, edi tatanggapin mo na lang. Pero best example nga niya, yung mga na-undergo crisis na. So, instead na magsarado na lang ako ng wala lang, edi ibebenta ko na lang dun sa existing business. Saka yung yung mga new entrants, para hindi siya maging competitor of the existing yung mga established businesses na bibilhin na lang. Kadalasan, is either bibili ng mas mababa or pwede din naman with a goodwill. So, depende. Kung manonood kayo ng mga teleserye, may mga nangyayari sa teleserye na sa pilitang ipinabenta yung kanyang negosyo kasi nakikita niyang this will be my great competitor. Sa teleserye na no choice siya with force, yung parang yung consent niya is talagang ayaw niya ibenta, ay mali mo, pinilit siya na may benta na pag di mo ibenta sa akin, ganito ang mangyayari. Yung mga napapanood natin sa teleserye na pinayag niya, napaperma siya kasi nga may force na existing para gawin niya yun. Either sige, may gagawin ako sa family pag hindi na-ibenta. Pero usually, sa teleserye naman yung nangyayari. Pero that is also an example of bargain purchase. Na-ibenta mo na, hindi talaga yun yung value ng business mo. Pero in practice, kadalasan dyan, yung mga palugi na business. No choice ka na kundi ibenta para mag-survive pa. Okay, so much for that. So part ng recognition, para mas ma-identify natin if there will be goodwill or bargain purchase, first, we need to value the identifiable assets and liabilities of the acquiree. So, si acquiree, kailangan natin i-identify yung mga assets niya and liabilities to get the net assets. So, anong general rule? Asset and liabilities acquired are recorded. And sabi is, assets and liabilities acquired are recorded at their individual determined values or the fair market value. Then the acquiring company, wait lang class, charge ko lang. Okay, going back with our discussion. And sabi dito, again, we need to determine or record the individual determinable values of the assets and liabilities acquired by the acquirer. Then, the acquiring company, sabi dito, is not required to establish values immediately on the acquisition date. So, sa ating problem, kadalasan, the fair market value of the company acquired or the acquirer is given, usually given niya or nasa problem. Pero in practice, syempre iba. Hindi mo naman agad-agad sa acquisition date, i-determine ang values agad, fair market value ng lahat ng assets. Kaya in practice class, it is given until 1 year. 1 year yung allotted period kay acquirer para ma-determine niya talaga kung ano yung mga fair market value ng assets acquired. Okay, kasi kung titingnan natin sa libro, ganito siya, pero sa practice, iba siya. So, let us proceed na dun sa application. So, ito lang naman first, i-determine natin ang acquirer, determine the acquisition date, then afterwards, identify the consideration given to determine the price, then yung price, i-compare natin dun sa value ng identifiable asset and liabilities ng acquiree. Then, dun na magre-result whether we are going to recognize gain or goodwill. Okay, so let's have this one problem. Sabi dito, apply na natin yung concept natin, ha? Illustration 14-1, acquisition of net assets. Let us assume that the company to be acquired by acquirers. So, sinabi na dito, let us assume that the company to be acquired by acquirer, INC, has the following statement of financial position. O malinaw na, noong June 2013, si J&J Company, ang statement of financial position niya noong June 30, 2013 ay ito. So, adjust na lang natin dito, gawin na lang natin 2023 para latest. So, meron siyang cash, marketable securities, inventory, land, building, equipment, total asset is 2.3. Then, may current liability siya na 125, bonds payable, common stock, additional paid-in capital, then retained earnings. So, ito yung kanyang total liabilities and equity. Then, fair values for all accounts have been measured as of, magaling at na-measure agad, as of June 30, 2013, ito daw ang mga fair market values. So, may changes ba tayo, class? Tingnan natin, kindly compare kung may changes tayo. So, ang cash daw ay still the same. Yung marketable securities is 330. There is an increase. Yung inventory ay tumaas din. Yung land, tumaas din. Yung building, tumaas din. And yung equipment, ang equipment, tumaas din yung value. Then yung kanyang current liabilities, same lang. At saka ang ating bonds payable. Premium on bonds payable, yun, may na-recognize na premium on bonds payable. Then fair value of net identifiable asset. So binigay yung ating binigay yung fair value. So malinaw, parang nag-recompute din dito. Ito daw yung total asset. Then we also have unrecognized receivable. So possible, sa transaction na nangyari ito, may mga receivables pag hindi na-record si acquiree. Kaya nilagay dito, in-identify. Yun yung unrecognized receivable na 225. So in this case, ang nangyari, ang total asset is 3,265,000 versus sa book value niya na 2.3 lang. Then, ang kanyang liabilities, before, ang liability niya lang ay 625. Pero ngayon, ang naging liabilities niya ay 645. Sabi nga, we are going to identify or get the value of the assets and liabilities assumed by the acquiree on the acquisition date. So ito na yon. So assets less liabilities, ang fair value of net identifiable assets ay 2,620,000. Ito na. So madali yung problem na binigay, given na yan. So ito yung case 1 natin. Case 1. Acquirer, INC, issues 80,000 shares of its 10 par value common stock with a market value of 40 each for J&J Company's net assets. Alin nga po, class? Magkano nga po ang net assets ni J&J? Magkano ang net assets niya? Ano sabi sa problem? Class, magkano nga po ang net assets ni J&J? Naririnig ba ako? Tatawag ako. Kalas, mag-i-apply na natin yung acquisition method, ha? Okay. Let's have Mr. Manalo. Determine muna natin. O, sinong acquirer nga dito? Who is the acquirer? Pardon, Mr. Manalo, nawala ang ma'am, nawala ang internet. Sino ang acquirer natin dito? Acquirer. Yes, ito to. Yes, acquirer, INC. Sino ang acquiree? Let's see, J&J. Next, let us determine, tama. When is the acquisition date? Okay, June 30, 2013. Then let us identify, next step, ikaw na sumagot lahat. Next step is identify the consideration given or the price. So, ito yung case 1. Acquirer INC issues 80,000 shares of its 10 par value common stock with a market value of 40 each for J&J Company's net asset. Acquirer INC pays professional fees of 50,000 to accomplish the acquisition and the stock issuance cost of 30. So in this case, alin lang ang i-consider mo to identify the price or the consideration given? Okay, so we have 40 pesos each. Ilang shares? 80. Okay, hindi multiply nga. So, wait lang class ha. I-recheck din ni ma'am. So, we have 80,000 shares. Ang per market value niya ay 40. So, ano ang iyong consideration given? Magkano? Yes, 3,200,000. May dadagdag pa ba tayo doon? Yun na ba talaga yung price? Sigurado ka? Plus 30,000. So, magiging 3 times 40. So, plus yung 30,000. O, sige, tatanggapin ko muna kung ano yung sagot mo. How about this acquirer pays professional fees? Anong gagawin natin dito sa professional fees? Expense immediately or outright expense. Tama. So, i-record natin to as an expense. So, dito tayo, ito yung question mark natin. Sinama mo ang 30,000 na issuance cost. Sige nga, balikan mo nga yung concept natin kanina. Anong ginagawa sa issuance cost? Sige. Kasi the moment mali yung price consideration, mamamali tayo ng identify ng goodwill or bargain purchase. Sige. Magno-notes kayo, class, ha? Balikan natin yung data. At baka kayo yung nalilito. Ito yung ating data, ha? Ayan. Ano yung anong sabi? Kasama ba siya? So hindi. Anong final answer mo? Okay, 3. In this case, ang sabi ni Mr. Manalo, ang price of consideration is, anong sagot mo, Mr. Manalo? 3,200,000. Ito lang daw. Kasi saan to galing? Okay, so saan siya galing? Dun sa 80,000. Okay, sige. 80,000 at 40 par. Okay, so yan yung sagot niya. Okay, tama ba class ang sagot ni Mr. Manalo? Tama ba? Do you agree with Mr. Manalo's answer? Okay, wag malilito ha. Okay. So nakuha na natin. So, ang price paid or consideration given is 3,200. Then, saan nga daw natin siya? Yung next step, identify the, determine the identifiable net assets. Sige. Okay, I will check. Identify the fair value of net identifiable assets acquired from JJ or JJ Company. So, ilalagay natin dito yung fair value of identifiable net assets of J&J Company. So, kailangan ma-identify natin yung fair value. Anong sabi kanina sa problem? Balikan nga natin. Ano ang fair value ng net assets ni J&J? So madali na, ito na, binigay na nila sa problem. Pero may cases yan ay nakabulit. Nakabulit siya, i-identify mo. So we have 2,620,000. So nakuha na natin yung value niya, 2,620,000. Lagay lang natin dito. 2,620,000. Thank you for correcting. So 2,620,000. Then, let us identify kung there will be a bargain purchase or there will be a goodwill. So the price is exceed the fair value of net identifiable. So in this case, anong meron tayo dito? Is it a goodwill or a bargain and purchase or a gain? Ano nga pong sagot, Miss Mali, ay, natawag ko na to. Miss Bautista, in this case, sa ating unang scenario, anong meron dito?
Goodwill.
Okay, goodwill of how much?
3,200,000 minus 2,620 is equals to 580,000.
500?
80,000 po.
Okay,
580,000.
580,000 goodwill. Malinaw, class? Madali pa lang yan kasi syempre basic concept pa lang to ng business combination. So it will be 520,000. 580,000 rather. Masala. So ito yung ating sagot, 580,000. Okay, 580,000. How about, sige, before proceed with the case 2, gawan muna natin siya ng journal entry. So, kada cases, kada transaction na nangyayaring ganyan, syempre, lagi tayong may journal entries. Gagawin natin ng journal entries yung transaction na nangyari. So, ano yung first entry na gagawin natin? Syempre, to record the net assets acquired, including the new goodwill. So, i-entry natin, gagawa tayo ng journal entry dito. Ito yung assets acquired, tapos yung consideration given. Then, the goodwill, the new goodwill to be recognized. So, gawa tayo ng journal entry. So, journal entry. So, hindi mawawala dito sa ating, sa accounting for special transaction, yung journal entry. Siyempre, kung ano yung pinurchase mo na. So, ano nga po yung mga pinurchase or acquired ni acquirer kay J&J. Ano nga po yun? Capture muna at nang may idea kayo. O kung may books naman dyan, mas maganda. So, ito yon. Di ba yan yung in-acquire? We have the cash, marketable securities, inventory, land. O sige, para kayo may idea at alam kung paano gumawa ng journal entry. Sige, Miss Bonisa, anong magiging journal entry natin dito? First is to determine the assets acquired. Sige nga po, paki-provide ang journal entry.
Debit po, cash na 200,000.
Sige, wait lang. Debit cash na 200,000.
Wait lang, pinawala po. Tapos, debit din po, marketable securities na 330,000.
Marketable.
Tapos,
Wait lang anak ha, securities na. Magkano amount?
330,000 po.
330. Anong mga values ang kinukuha mo, Miss Bonisa?
Yung fair values po.
Okay, next.
Tapos yung inventory po na 550,000.
Na 550,000. Next.
Tapos land po na 360,000.
Land na, magkano value? 360?
360, opo.
360,000. Next.
Tapos building po na 900,000.
Okay, building na 900,000.
Tapos equipment po na 700,000.
Equipment na 700,000.
Tapos unrecognized receivables po na 225,000.
Anong account title nun?
Po.
Anong pinakang account title natin doon sa unrecognized receivable?
Allowance for doubtful accounts po.
Bakit naging allowance na yun? Yun nga ay receivable. Ano yung specific account title natin doon? Wala naman tayong account title na unrecognized, di ba? Recognized receivable. Ano yung account title lang na gagamitin natin doon?
Receivables po.
Yes. So, receivables lang. Tanggalin yung unrecognized. Account title na kasi tayo. Receivables or trade receivable, pwede. Receivables. Trade or pwedeng trade receivable. Magkano?
225,000 po.
225,000. Next.
Tapos, credit po, current liabilities.
Nag-credit na siya. Credit.
Ay, wait lang po pala. Debit po pala, goodwill.
Okay, debit na. Huwag kakalimutan, yung goodwill, ito yung new. Magkano yung nakuha nating goodwill?
580,000 po.
Okay, 580,000. Next.
Tapos, credit na po, current liabilities.
Okay, current liabilities.
Na 125,000 po.
So ito, bakit current liabilities na ang nilagay? Ano bang account title natin doon?
Current liabilities.
Current liabilities talaga. Check nga natin. Okay. So yun ang ginamit. So inano na, sinamarize na. Sige, hindi in-identify. Okay, magkano ang current liabilities?
125,000 po.
Okay, so we have 125,000. Next.
Tapos, bonds payable po.
Bonds payable. Magkano?
500,000 po.
500. Saan mo kinuha mga amount dito?
Sa fair values pa din po.
Okay, 500,000. Next, yung yung di na-recognize na.
Tapos, premium on bonds payable po.
Parang umiyak ka.
Ay, hindi po.
Akala ko umiyak ka na. Premium on bonds payable, magkano?
20,000 po.
20,000. Next.
Tapos, cash po. Wait lang. 120.
Cash.
Wait lang po.
Ano pa pinabayad niya? Sa purchase. Cash ba?
Wait lang po.
Pinabayad. Sige, miss ano?
Ayun pong shares po palang binayad.
Yes, shares or yung common stock niya, 'di ba? So paano ba tayo nagre-record ng common stock?
Ano po? Share capital po.
Yes, share capital or common stock. Okay, or share capital or common. Ang gamitin natin class is common stock muna. Common stock, magkano? Or the share capital, yung tinatawag natin share capital. Magkano siya?
2
Ano gagawin? 2 million?
555,000 po.
Paano mo nakuha yung 2 million? 400,
500 po. 2,555,000.
2,555,000. Paano mo nakuha yung 2,555,000? Ano minultiply mo? Di ba pag common stock, alin ang kinukuha natin? It is the par value or the fair value of shares? Common stock. O yung share capital, ano yung kinukuha natin dyan? Kasi all
Ay,
ano po?
3,200,000 po pala.
3,200,000. So, paano ka nagkamot sa 3,200,000? Yung 80 times 40, Again, share capital. Di ba pag share capital, saan natin binibase ang shares? At ano, for value or par value?
Pwede pong tumingin po.
Sige, pwede naman. Tingnan natin. Yan, no problem. Common stock muna siya. Pag nagre-record tayo ng, kapag in excess of the common stock, di ba dalawang recording natin yan? Dalawang ating account title.
Pala. 800,000 po pala.
O, 800,000. Tama. Common stock or share capital na 800,000. So, ito ay anong value ng shares dito? At par or at fair value?
At par po.
Okay, so ito yung 80,000 shares at 10 par value, di ba? Yun. O, i-put muna natin at nang hindi. Basta yun yung computation class ha. Adjust ko na lang ito. Kaya malinaw. Next. So, paano yung excess? Paano natin magpapalabas yung total kanina? So, ano mangyayari sa excess? Yes, the share premium or dyan sa book natin, yung additional paid in capital. Or yung ngayon, ang tawag na dyan, share premium. So, yun ang gamitin natin, yung latest. Share premium, magkano?
2,400,000.
Okay, paano mo nakuha ang 2,400,000?
Ano po, yung kanina po na 3,200,000 po, minus po dun sa share capital po na 800,000.
Okay. Or yung shortcut natin, edi yung excess, 36 less 10. Di ba? 40 less 10, di 30. Multiply mo lang sa 40 less 10, edi 30 times 80,000. Basta yung excess sa kanya. So, 2 million. Okay, yung 30 pesos, kasi di ba ang fair market value ng shares ay 40. So, yung book value natin, so 30 per share, times 80,000. So, we come up with 2,400,000. So, anong ating description dito? Miss Bonisa, anong ating description dito? To record
The issuance of shares as consideration for the business combination po.
Okay, or pwedeng to record the net assets. So ito yung mas, pwede naman yung pero ito yung mas akmat. To record the net assets acquired. Kasi ito talaga yung transaction na nangyari. Nag-acquire si acquirer kay J&J Company ng net asset. To record the net assets acquired and the recognition of goodwill. And the recognition of goodwill. So, goodwill to klasan, new goodwill in case na si J&J, kunwari lang si J&J dito sa kanyang statement of financial position, may nakalagay dito na goodwill, patent, or trade. So, we are not going to include it dun sa net identifiable asset. Malinaw class so far? Malinaw ang ating case 1? Nauunawaan? Nauunawaan po? Class, naunawaan? O, hindi lang yan yung ating journal entry. Meron pa tayong mga journal entry. Alin pa? Kasi, meron pang cost na in-incur si acquirer, which is, meron siyang professional fees na 50,000 as well as stock issuance cost. So, sabi nga kanina ni Mr. Manalo, ma'am, the professional fees is expense outright or expense immediately. So, dapat may journal entry tayo niyan. As well as stock issuance cost. Stock issuance cost is a deduction to the additional paid in capital or the share premium. So, kailangan may entry din yan. May journal entry tayo dyan. Gawa natin ang journal entry. Yung una, yung acquisition related cost. Anong journal entry kaya nun? Miss? Mr. Di Pasupil. Binalikan na kita. Anong entry natin to record those transaction? Pwedeng combined entry na yan. Yan dalawa. Pwede na yan. Isang entry na lang yan dalawa. Pwede naman magkahiwalay din. Mr. Di Pasupil. Wala na naman si Mr. Di Pasupil. Ay, siya. O sige, Mr. Di Pasupil. So what will be our entry to record the expenses? Para dito, anong entry natin dito sa dalawang ito? Yung professional fees at saka yung
Ano po,
issuance.
ma'am? Debit po, acquisition expense.
Okay, debit, acquisition,
Ex-
expense. How much? Aling amount?
50,000 po.
50,000. Ano pa? Debit
Debit, additional paid in capital.
or additional or ito, yung share premium. Kasi old book yung ating yung mga book ni. Okay, additional paid in or the share premium,
30,000.
30,000. Then,
Plus credit cash po na 80.
okay, credit cash na. Anong ating dito? Description, credit cash na 80,000. Ano pong description natin, Mr. Di Pasupil? 2. Ano ating description? Mr. Di Pasupil, anong ating description dito? To record?
To record acquisition related.
Okay, acquisition related expenses. Okay. Malinaw class, ginawa na natin combined entry yon. Pero kung if you are going to record it separately, so it will be debit acquisition expense, credit cash na 50,000, then debit additional paid in capital or share premium, credit cash na 30,000. Malinaw po yung ating case 1? Malinaw? So let us proceed with the case 2 na. Case 2 na tayo, class. Okay. Sabi dito, acquirer, same data tayo ha. Acquirer INC issues 20,000 shares of its 115 par value common stock with a market value of 120 each for J&J Company net assets. Acquirer INC pays professional fees of 50,000 to accomplish the acquisition and stock issuance cost. So ano naman pinagkaiba dito? Kopyahin lang natin yung ating ginawa kanina. Alam naman na natin ang acquirer, alam naman natin ang acquiree. So dito tayo magkakaroon ng differences. Okay, so complete natin. Saan na yun? Wala na, wala. Dito na tayo sa... Okay. So again, what will be the changes sa ating price consideration? Magiging ang ating price consideration? Let's have Garcia Marjorie. What will be our price consideration for case 2? Garcia? Wala. Sige. Garcia. So what will be our consideration? Sige po. Sorry, Miss Garcia, nawawala ka. Pasettle muna ng iyong audio.
Ma'am, rinig ba?
Yes, yan. Okay na. So what will be our changes on the price consideration?
Yung 20,000 shares.
At sa anong value ng shares?
20,000 shares po times yung yung 120 po na na market value. Bali po yung consideration ay 400,000 po.
Times 120. 2,400,000. 20,000 times 120 is 2,400,000. Tama naman. So may changes ba sa ating identifiable assets? There any changes, Miss Garcia? May changes ba dito? Miss Garcia? Plus, hanggat hindi pa tapos ang pagtatanong ko, wag agad kayo hanggat hindi ko pa sinasabing okay na. Hanggat hindi pa tapos, wag agad kayong mag-believe na tinatanong ko pa. Nawawala agad. Hindi pa kasi tapos yung problem. Same lang ang ating identifiable. Ano naging resulting niya? Miss Garcia. Uubusin ko ang inyong recitation. Agad kayo sumasagot. Miss Babiano? Miss Babiano?
Po, ma'am.
What will be our resulting, what will be the result of the transaction? Is it goodwill or a gain?
So dahil po ma'am mas mataas po yung price ay yung consideration given kaysa sa fair value ng net identifiable assets ay magkakaroon po tayo ng goodwill 3,200,000 less 2,620,000 equal to 580,000 pesos.
Ha? But goodwill pa din. Ang sagot mo is goodwill, Miss Babiano?
Ay, sorry po ma'am. Case lang pala po yung tinitingnan ko. Bali po sa case 2 po ay consideration given ay 2,400,000. Ay ang higher po ay ang fair value ng net identifiable assets na 2,620,000. So ang gain ng acquisition po or yung bargain purchase natin ay 2,220,000 po.
Okay, so in this case, there will be a gain on acquisition na magkano? Pardon? Miss Babiano? Magkano ang gain on acquisition?
220,000 po.
220,000. Okay, so we have 220,000. So, favorable ito ngayon sa part ni acquirer kasi nagkaroon siya ng gain on acquisition. So, anong magiging impact niyan sa ating journal entry? So, anong magiging impact niyan sa journal entry natin? So, same din, magkakaroon lang tayo ng gain on acquisition. Sige nga po, what will be our journal entry? Miss Pasahol? Ma'am, rinig po? Yes po. Yes.
Po. So para po i-record yung acquisition po ng net assets, yun lang
Sige.
po ulit. Cash 200,000. Debit po cash 200,000. Marketable securities 330,000. Inventory 550,000. Land 360,000. Building 900,000.
Sige,
Equipment
patuloy lang.
700,000. Receivables trade 225,000. Tapos i-credit naman po ang current liabilities 125,000, bonds payable 500,000, premium on bonds payable 20,000, yung common stock po na 20,000 times po dun sa 115 par na magkakaroon po tayo ng 2,300,000. Tapos sa additional paid in capital naman po ay yung 20,000 na shares ita-times po sa 5 which is 100,000. Tapos yung gain on acquisition po na 220,000.
Okay, paulit ako anak. Yung common stock, anong magiging value nito sa 20,000 at anong...
Sa common stock po, 20,000 shares po ita-times po sa 115 par.
So it will be?
2,300,000 po.
Okay, so ito ay magiging 2,300,000. Then, ang additional paid,
Paid in capital po, yung 20,000 shares naman po, ita-times po siya sa 5.
okay, so it will be, anong resulting niya?
100,000 po.
Okay, 100,000. Next,
Tapos yung sa gain on acquisition naman po,
okay,
which is
gain
yung
on acquisition. Magkano gain on acquisition natin?
Yung 220,000 po.
Okay, 220,000. So again, anong ating description?
Ano po, to record the acquisition of net assets po.
Okay. So to record the acquisition of net assets and the recognition of gain on purchase. So anong pinagkaiba lang natin dito, class? Ay di nagkaroon lang tayo ng gain on acquisition. Unlike kanina, goodwill. Then yung isa namang nating entry to record the acquisition related cost. So it will be, anong ating entry naman doon? To record the acquisition related cost. So thank you, Miss Pasahol. Ano yung magiging changes natin doon, Miss? Miss Releo, ano magiging entry natin?
Doon na po sa acquisition related cost po.
Sige, dito. Ano magiging changes dito ng ating entry? O, kopyahin ko lang.
Bali, game na po.
Game na. Sige. Ano magiging entry natin?
Po, debit po ng acquisition expense na 50,000.
Magkano? 50,000 pa din.
Debit Apo.
Okay, debit din
Tapos,
na.
debit din po kami. Additional paid capital po ng 100,000 po.
Okay, 100,000. Then,
Stock issuance cost po na 30,000 debit din po.
okay. Stock,
Post credit po ang 100,000.
stock acquisition,
Stock issuance cost po.
cost na 30,000.
30,000 po.
30,000 next.
Tapos cash po na credit.
Cash na
Cash po
100.
credit.
Okay. Cash credit na 100, yung total niya, which is 180,000. So, anong pinagkaiba niya, Mr. Releo, dun sa entry natin kanina? Ano yung pinagkaiba niya?
Ma'am, bali ngayon po ma'am, meron pong entry po ng stock issuance cost po. Kaya po meron pong nakahiwalay kasi po nakalagay po dun sa kanina po ay yung reduction from additional paid in capital po yung 130 po.
Okay. So, kanina daw ay nakalagay dito yung problem natin. Ano sabi dun sa case 1? Ito, yung stock issuance cost na 30,000 is reduction talaga siya dun sa ating additional paid in capital. Pero dito sa ating padalawang problem, yung case 2, inihiwalay na natin ang additional paid in capital share premium is yung 100,000. So, na-separate siya. So, ang total na payment is 180,000. Ang total cash payment is 180,000. Ito parang sineparate natin dito. Okay? So, malinaw class? Malinaw po ang ating case 1 and case 2? Okay, so madali lang siya yung methods ng acquisition or purchase method, yung steps niya is yun lang apat. Identify the acquirer as well as determine the acquisition date, identify the price given, as well yung recognition of the identifiable asset for us to compare whether there will be new goodwill or gain on purchase. Okay, class, we are going to continue the discussion by next meeting. Kindly say present when you're here. Okay? Sabi ko nandito ha. Heroleo,